Well, ladies and gentlemen, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On this very beautiful occasion, I'd like to present my proposal with the title Interactive Dynamic Literacy Model, IDLM, based problem-based learning, PBL, to improve students' writing skill. But previously, Honorable Bapak Dr. Abdurrahman Disaputra MHum as the leader of this new proposal. And then my promoter, Ma'am Professor Dr. Sumarsi MPD, and then my co-promoter, Ma'am Dr. Ana Riana, student Tambunan SSM Home, and then my first reviewer, Professor Amrin Saragi, MA PhD, and then my second reviewer, Ma'am Professor Dr. Sri Minda Murni, MS, and the third reviewer of mine, Ma'am Winda Setiasari, SSM Home, PhD. So we start from the chapter 1. We begin from the phenomena gap. So there are some two expectations here. The first is the vision of Asan University become a university which excels in the field of education, ecosystem environment in producing innovative and personality graduates. The students are expected to be excellent in their field, especially in English writing. Number two, for the students and also as the teacher candidates, the ability to master and implement the material delivered by lecture not only stops for themselves, but also can be conveyed to others. That is to their students someday. That's the expectation. And then the facts, number one is the students were not interested in or enthusiastic about writing genres. Number two, they were not able to rewrite a narrative text well. Number three, in writing, the difficulties they encounter in text production range from their inability to elicit ideas and lack of literacy. And the last one is most of them got low scores in writing. That's the phenomenon I get. And then the theory gap, okay. So according to UNESCO 2016, all the phases of problem-based learning of PBL are necessary in increasing students' learning outcomes. The process of PBL most significantly impacts students' learning. Problem-based learning do not correspond to the internal reality of writing because this theory doesn't immediately increase effectiveness and efficiency in the learning process. When this theory is applied continuously, it becomes a part of the learning process that has been taking place so far, and it turns out that the effectiveness and efficiency of learning have decreased. Okay, based on some research, that problem solving is okay, it's very good to implement it in the learning process, but in one side, when it is implemented continuously, the effectiveness and efficiency in learning have decreased. We go to the research gap. Okay, it is yeah. So
letak di
studies
sini.
have proved students were actively searching ideas, collaboratively in composite writing, small group discussion from problem solving tasks. It's recommended to develop students' writing skill. Okay, so it's based on some researches, yeah, some studies that show that problem-based learning is recommended in teaching writing. But for some studies, the first studies that was conducted by C 2022, the students encountered the actual difficulties. More than 52 of them perceived the lack of language skills. Even when students mentioned not knowing where to start and not able to write reports and emails, more than 26 of the students were unfamiliar with the basic context, practice, and the workplace environment. So based on this study, it means that there are some weakness of problem-based implementation. And then the second study, Prodi 2, yeah, 2016, and Gopran 2018. PBL is difficult to implement. It needs much more time, more preparation, good management, and sometimes it's confusing for some students. Some students are hesitant to discuss their thoughts about a problem, and it is difficult for a teacher to arrange an open-ended problem for the learning process. And the last one is the PBL intervention period of 9 weeks in the study is too short to trigger any kind of significant measurable improvement in writing. It takes a long time for English learners to develop writing skills. Ribero 2011. So that's the research gap. Well, the formulation of problems, the first is how is the design of IDLM-based PBL to improve the writing skills of the third semester students of the English education program of Asan University. Number two, what is the validity level of IDLM-based PBL for improving the writing skills of the third semester students of the English education study program of Asan University? The third one is, what is the practicality level of IDLM-based PBL in improving the writing skills of the third semester students of the English education study program of Asan University? And the fourth one is, what is the effectiveness level of IDLM-based PBL in improving the writing skills of the third semester students of the English education study program of Asan University? That's the formulation of problems. We move on to the objectives of the research. Number one is to create a design for IDLM-based PBL to improve the writing skills of the third semester students of the English education study program as you can see. Number two, to meticulously establish the validity of the IDLM-based PBL and ensure a substantial improvement in the writing skills of the third semester students of the English education study program at Asan University. And number three, to evaluate the practicality level of IDLM-based PBL in improving the writing skills of the third semester students of the English education study program of Asan University. And the last one is to investigate the effectiveness level of IDLM-based PBL in improving the writing skills of the third semester students of the English education study program of Asan University. Limitation of the problems. So there are 5. The first is developing problem-based to teach writing. Number 2, developing problem-based to be used by the semester students of English education study program of Asan University. Number 3, developing problem-based learning to improve students' writing skill. And number 4, integrating the syntax of problem-based learning with the reading-writing connection explicitly and systematically. And number 5, integrating the local cultural narrative text of Assam Regency as the learning material into the learning process. So the significance of the research, the theoretical benefit, number 1 is introducing the new learning model for English education program students is a promising step toward enhancing their writing skill. This model is designed to provide specific assistance in writing, particularly in the composition of text. Number 2, this research contributes to the theory development, like the relevant learning model implemented to improve students' writing skills at the university level. The new learning model is a significant guide English lecturer in trying to be interested and enthusiastic about the learning process and help the students solve their writing problems. The local culture of Asan Regency is integrated into the instructional materials so that the students can quickly develop and express creative ideas about their own because they already have primary knowledge. Practically benefits. 1, for the students, the research aims to enhance students' writing skill by implementing and evaluating a new learning model. Number 2, for a lecturer, the expected result can guide the other lecturers at Asan University, especially those in Sumatra, in designing and applying the new learning model. The last one is for the university. The research result is expected to contribute to the university, especially the English education study program, by improving the students' learning quality. B, to provide knowledge and new insight about improving a student's writing skills through the implementation of the new learning material. C, the research is expected to provide new inspiration and serve as valuable study material for future research in this area. That's the chapter 1, and we move on to the chapter 2. There is some concept here that must explain here. The first is about narrative text, and then the base I developed about listening, it is interactive dynamic model, or I become IDLM, and then IDLM based PVL. So how is the design from IDLM based PVL? Later I'll explain about the component skills, yeah, the component in a learning model. And the last one is the supporting theories in IDLM based PVL. So it is the narrative text. I explained here about the definition, the social function, the journey structures, the language features, and the last one is example. And the examples I give the story that's in Assam region. So I found the stories in a book in Assam library. The authors are Desky and Rida, 2012 and 2016. The first is the origin of Assam name, the legend of Kelapa Gading Lake, the legend of Tratel Lake, and actually there are many stories in Assam Regency. So for this time, I just give just some of them, and later on, if needed, I'll add. Well, it is the important point that I must explain. It becomes the base for me to develop problem-based learning, interactive, dynamic literacy model, IDLM. So in my understanding relating to this concept, that interactive dynamic literacy model, it is the concept which the teaching writing must be integrated with reading explicitly and systematically. Maybe for the time being, for the implementation of problem listening in these reasons, reading is also integrated, but we don't see whether it is explicitly or systematically or not. So in my understanding here, interactive dynamic model, we teach writing, but we integrate reading first. The intention is how to make the students really ready to write. So we give them a preparation before writing. We give them the reading comprehension test first. The intention is to make them have as many as ideas, and later on, the ideas to be written in the form of written test. Well, it is the figure of interactive dynamic literacy model. And you know that there are three relations here. The first is hierarchical relation. So in hierarchical relation, the point is the lower level skills are necessary for the higher level skills. Or in other words, lower level skill fit for high level skill. So I can illustrate like this. Hierarchical relation is while we are building a house, we need a foundation because the foundation is very important for the next steps. Similarly, we see this figure, the lower level skill is necessary for the higher level skill. So which become the lower level skill is domain general cognition of executive function is lower level skill. And it is necessary for the development for the higher level like vocabulary, like discourse, like word reading, and until the last one is the reading comprehension and written composition. So like attentional control. Attentional control is like giving the stimuli to the students. By giving the stimuli to the students can influence to the reading comprehension, even though it is indirectly. So it is an example, the implementation of a hierarchical relation that's saying that the lower level of skills is necessary for the development for the higher level skill. Similarly, like the phonology or morphology, Okay, and okay. So it is important for the development for the lexical literacy. Okay, something like that. It is the hierarchical relation. Number two is interactive relation. In this relation, it is stated that reading and writing develop together. Yeah, our for the general component skills, operating writing skill develop together. Like we can see that this headed rows. Yeah, okay, headed arrows. Okay, it means that these component skills develop together. Like this one, reading comprehension and written composition. Between those skills, there is two double-headed rows, meaning that they develop together. If reading comprehension develop, writing composition develop, and vice versa. That's what I mean, interactive relation. And the last relation is dynamic relation. It depends on three. The first is function of developmental phase, and two is function of individual characteristic. And the third one is how reading comprehension and written comprehension measured and evaluated. So it is the elaboration of interactive dynamic model that become the base of mind to develop problem-based learning. Teaching reading and writing as integrated subjects. So there are three principles, yeah, in teaching reading and writing as integrated. The first is leveraging assessment data in reading and writing to inform effective reading and writing instruction. So before we teach, we make sure actually what is the weakness of the students, what is something that must be improved. So based on my observation, the students' lackness is they are lack of ideas to write. When they were asked to write down or rewrite the narrative text, some of them are confused to rewrite because they are lack of ideas to be written. Number one is not either or, but both ensure the development of lower order skills while also supporting the development of higher order skills. It means that make sure that the lower level skills develops. If it develops, automatically the higher level skills develop too. The last one is making reading writing connection visible. High quality integrated teaching involves explicitly facilitating the recognition of the connection between reading and writing to facilitate transfer of what was learned in reading, writing, and writing to reading. These are the principles of teaching reading and writing as integrated subject. Supporting theories in RLM-based PBL, the first is a sociocultural theory. Okay, so sociocultural theory, it is a theory emphasize the importance of individual internalized culture and how it impacts a development. And then number two, teaching and learning are collaborative process with a heavy reliance on communication and participation of each individual. Number three, the ZBD or zone of proximal development encourages students to collaborate with their teacher or lecturer and knowledgeable peers in an effort to problem-solving capabilities and independence. Number four, students' participation and thinking about the process of writing stimulates their metacognition and construction of meaning. The second theory is the genre literacy theory that developed by Holiday. So number one is genre awareness depends on many factors such as understanding of genre form and mechanics. Number two is in order to successfully write a narrative text, students need to understand the communicative purpose, generic structure, and language features. Okay, and then the third theory is shared knowledge theory. It is based on Pizzarro and Sanahan. Number one is reading and writing are based on 4 types of knowledge called critical knowledge that can vary depending on child age or grade level. Number two, the critical knowledge include meta knowledge, that is functions and purpose of reading and writing, knowledge about substance and content, knowledge about universal text attributes, and the last is procedural knowledge and skills to negotiate reading and writing. The fourth one is systemic functional linguistics, or the SEVAL theory from Holiday and Matheson. As SEVAL linguists have a particular perspective of context, especially the context of culture. The cultural context encompasses all the possible ways the language can be used to exchange meaning in socially acceptable ways. And then Vygotsky educational theory that developed by Consulin et al. This theory concludes that students in construct knowledge or the creation of meaning from thinking and interacting in a social context. And the last theory is a self-determination theory from Ryan and Deci. People can become controlled, fragmented, and alienated if their basic psychological needs for autonomy, competence, and relatedness are undermined by a deficient social environment. And the last one is relatedness from environment and relationship can improve motivation. These are the theories. And then among the theories, I try to elaborate the relation among the theories to writing. So the overarching sociocultural theory views writing as a negotiation of meaning between writer and reader, where knowledge of writing is created through the mental and constructive aspects of composing, but also by the interaction of minds. The mutual understanding is possible when readers and writers have this common knowledge and vice versa. Genre literacy emphasizes the importance of common knowledge for writers, such as common purpose of writing with a community of readers, main content of the discourse and knowledge, characteristic of genre text, audience expectations, and previous genre experience. The usage of meta-knowledge underlying reading and writing in order to achieve the instructional purpose. As several linguists have a particular perspective of context, especially in the content culture, the narrative text connecting to local culture in a agency is integrated in the learning process. Students construct knowledge or the creation of meaning from thinking and interacting in a social context. Cognitive abilities come from social relationships and are influenced by social cultural background. One of these concepts is mutuality. Give an example and allow inner conversation to occur so that it can be done to understand each other in the reasoning process. And the last one is integration of local cultural learning material in as an agency gives the students relatedness with their surrounding or cultural context. Relatedness from environment and relationship can improve the students' motivation. It is the design of ideal-based PBL. So there are 5 components relating to the design of this learning model. The learning syntax, I have tried to design the learning syntax. The learning syntax means the steps of doing the learning model. Here, I shorten become Bisman model with a 6 phase. The first is literacy interest. Number 2 is integrating and writing. Number 3 is self-assessment. Number 4, monitor and guidance. Number 5, assurance for development and presentation. And the last one is need for analysis and evaluation. And social function it is relating to the interaction between the lecturers and the students, and also the students with the students. Okay, and then the reaction principles. There are 2 constructive feedback from the lecturer or the others. And number 2, lecturer as facilitator, consultant, motivator, moderator, and evaluator. Support systems consists of 6 here: semester learning planning or REPS, lecturer's guidebook, student's guidebook, internet connection, laptop, and projector. And the last one, instructional impact consists of 2. The first is students should be able to avoid difficulty and confusion in writing because of integration of reading and writing. The students can rewrite the narratives well. And the accompanying impacts, there are 3. The students' interest and motivation increase. Number 2, the students get the moral lesson from the story. And the third one is by learning the material connected to the local culture, the students can understand, respect, and appreciate one's own culture. This is the conceptual framework. Okay, I will provide this conceptual framework. Okay, there are some relevant studies. It is only some of them. Actually, I have given around 20 relevant studies. It is only 3 that I present. The first is reading and writing relation are not uniform. They differ by the linguistic design, developmental phase, and measurement. It is from YSG Kim et al. And then Dryle et al. 2022, writing about historical significance. Results show that 10th grade students in the reading to write condition with the number of students of 46 wrote significantly better essays compared to the students who received a content-based instruction. And the last one, Anderson et al. 2022, the development of writing skill within a home-based shared reading intervention with analysis of evidence from a randomized control trial. The current analysis found that the shared reading intervention also had effects on the children gains in writing skills at the sentence and text level. We move on to the chapter 3. It is the last chapter. Okay, so research method. So I'm going to use learning model design from Plum. It consists of 4 stages here: preliminary investigation, design, realization or construction, and test, evaluation, and revision. Okay, this is the summary of the procedures of designing ILM-based PBL. So we start from the preliminary research. We start from the investigate about problem of writing learning, relevant theories in writing learning model, assign local wisdom-based narrative text, students analysis, and curriculum analysis. And then we move on to the next stage. It is design. So we design some elements here. The first is we design the components of learning model that arrive and in social system management reaction, visible, support system, and instructional impacts. And then teaching kids design a semester learning plan, lectures, guidebook, students book, and students worksheet. And the last one, instrument design, it consists of 3: validation instrument, practicality 1, and practical 1. And we go to the realization. It is the time of mine to create the prototype, wine. So the prototype wine will be validated by some experts. 4 experts from the experts relating to the English education, and also competent in learning model, and 2 experts from cultural experts, and then 2 practitioners. So will be validated, and then the validation the data validation will be analyzed, and if there are some revisions, I'll revise, and after being revised, it will become the prototype 2. So the prototype 2 will be tested in the field. Okay, this is the research setting, time and location. This research will be conducted in the odd semester, 2014-2015 academic year. The location of this research will be located at the English Education Program, Faculty of Teacher and Training Education, Asan University, which is located on General Ahmad Yani Street, Kisara. The population of this research will be the third semester students at the English Education Program in the academic year 2024 to 2025. All the students will be the sample of research because based on Arcom 2019, if the population is less than 100 people, then the sample should be taken as well. And then the techniques of collecting data. Data collection techniques in this study include the validation of sheets, the expert scoring sheet, the observation sheet, student electronic questionnaires, and writing tests. And the last one is the techniques of data analysis. So there are 2 that will analyze here. The first is the validity of ILM-based PBL and teaching kits, and then the practicality of ILM-based PBL, and the last one is the effectiveness level of ILM-based PBL. So thank you very much. I think that's all my presentation, the valuable suggestion, and also the constructive input related to it. Thank you very much, and I give it to you later.
Finish
Yeah.
listnya ya.
Thank you, Liz.